Hey guys, Prangell Gaming here. Welcome back to the Talk the Wall. This is the 22nd installment. Before we get right into your responses and any questions you may have had, if you haven't seen any of the other 21 installments, then why not go check them out? There is going to be a link in the description of this video for the last Talk the Wall, or you could access the playlist by clicking the I button to see anything you may have missed. But always, if you have any questions or opinions, do feel free to put them in the comments section of this video because I want a Millwall voice throughout. And before we get right into this video, put your score predictions for the FA Cup game against Braintree, which is going to be on Sunday, in the comments section. And why not add your opinions to what you think is going to happen in that game as well. Do bear in mind, while I'm speaking in this video, that I record this on a Monday. So if anything becomes new or any new news stories do appear, then I'll cover them next week in the next Talk the Wall. So let's get into your predictions for last week's games, and I apologise in advance if I do sound a bit funny. I have a cold and I don't want to stop giving you your weekly dose of the Talk the Wall podcast. So the best place to start is for Millwall versus AFC Wimbledon, the game which was on the Tuesday. I went to this game. I understand your frustrations, but no one actually got this prediction right, and the closest three predictors were Tunbridge Fan TV, Liam Buxton and Lucas United. Now, Lucas United added Gregory to score in the 15th minute, Harry Smith to score in the 57th minute, and as you said, it would end 2-0. Now, I do believe that for this score prediction, it probably could have happened if we had some experienced strikers, but obviously that isn't the case with Gregory and Morrison being injured at the moment. Three other predictors said that they thought that the score would end 3-1 to us, and to be honest, I would have predicted this scoreline had I predicted. Those were Joe Holloway, Joe Conway and Harry CD. And Harry CD later said, how wrong was I for that prediction? Now, it happens to the best of us with this prediction stuff. We tend to not get it right most of the time. I mean, to be honest, Millwall aren't a very predictable side. We have a very, very odd ways of playing football, and the scorelines really are obscure sometimes. Did any of you get the score right for the Bury game, though? That's what I want to know. Well, let's have a look. To cut the long story short, unfortunately none of you did, but Lucas United was particularly close. He was only off by one goal, which was the goal that Bury obviously got for their second. He said that he thought Harry Smith would grab two goals, the first in the 19th minute and the second in the 73rd minute, while Thompson got the last one in the 88th minute. And I think that would have been an interesting selection of goals. I love seeing Tomo score goals, usually because the goals he gets are class, so that would have been pretty good to have seen. Harry CD said it would end 1-0 to Millwall, and then three more guys predicted. The first was Liam Buxton. He said that we would win 2-1. Joe Conway, who said we'd win 2-0. And finally, Tunbridge Fan TV, who said we would lose 1-0 to Bury. That is a very interesting prediction there, and to be honest, we could have definitely lost to Bury had we not got back in the game, and Bury definitely played well in that game. There was one comment on this actual last Talk the Wall that I want to cover, and that was by Joe Holloway saying, I am hashtag Team Smith, as he is younger and already proven himself. And, well, that was a response to who do you prefer out of Steve Morrison or Harry Smith. And now, I have to say this, unfortunately. I have to stay neutral. All I will say to add to that is, they will both score goals, and at the end of the day, we can see who's the better player come the end of the season. All I'm saying, though, is Morrison does have a tad bit more experience than Harry Smith. Let's be honest there. So let's take a look at this week's Loan Watch. And, well, while Ryan Bray didn't play for Welling for the most recent game, I actually don't know whether he played in the Kent Senior Cup. I'm going to apologise for that straight up now. But someone who did feature in their last game was Harry Gerlin. He featured the full 90 minutes in their tie against Concord Rangers in the FA Trophy. They won this 1-0, and so Harry Gerlin got a clean sheet there. Now, I can't quite remember the score for the game against Dartford in the Kent Senior Cup, but I do remember that Harry Gerlin made two penalty saves to see them progress into the next round. Dartford are actually my local club, so that's pretty interesting to see that Welling United actually beat them. And it's good to see that Harry Gerling is getting along pretty well. He could be a pretty interesting player to see how he starts performing. If he is to be called into playing for a Millwall team. This wasn't the case though for David Ford in terms of keeping a clean sheet though, as Pompey suffered a 2-1 defeat to Stevenage. Now I'm not quite sure where Stevenage are in the league, but I don't really think they're that good of a side last time I checked. That did mean obviously that Ford didn't get the clean sheet, and well, Portsmouth are falling down the table very, very slowly. As you see, Carlisle are top of League 2 and they have 7 more points than Portsmouth at the moment. And the final player on the loan watch is Paris Cowan-Hall, and he actually didn't feature for Wycombe Wanderers as he's injured again. For what reason? I don't know. It will be some means or something like that. But to be honest, Paris Cowan-Hall has a lot of injuries. It's going to be interesting to see what Mill will do with him come January, which is very, very close. We're not that far away from seeing what his fate could be at Millwall. I'm leaning towards he's probably going to have to leave. Now, last week, Millwall played 2 games, those being against AFC Wimbledon and Bury. So we'll start with the one on Tuesday, which was a 0-0 draw against AFC Wimbledon. And this game was really a polar opposite of the game we last saw played at the Den, because we obviously scored 4 goals. And I'm going to be honest, I was really frustrated in that game because Paul Robinson was really at his best. And I do think that he did a few naughty sort of tactics to get Harry Smiths to actually not actually do anything in that game. I believe he did a few things to put him off. I think he fouled him a couple of times. But that is up for discussion. What do you guys make of that one? Now, I'm sorry I'm going to have to go slightly off on a tangent with this one because I am very frustrated because overall, I'm really, really concerned with the team selection that we had against Wimbledon because they do have some physical players. And, well, that is an issue because Harris went and named Ferguson and Worrell. And personally, that just confuses me because I thought that Fred and Greg Wild would have been much better suited for that game as they have the pace that would get us in behind. But I don't know why Harris doesn't select him. And on the talk of Greg Wild, I hear some various whispers around the places on the internet that he could actually be leaving to get first team football. And I'm going to be honest, this frustrates me so much because Harris said that the form of him and other players is why he's been left out of the team. Now, I'm not being funny here, but he started 1 game and made 4 substitute appearances. And I'm going to be honest, you can't really settle in. If you struggle in the first game, you're going to struggle as you make substitute appearances because you don't get that many minutes. I mean, Harris tends to give you the most, about 30 minutes. And, well, it's just so frustrating because of starting 1 game out of a possible 25 matches. It really is concerning. He bought him to put him into the team, so why not give him a go? I mean, even when we had injuries, he just didn't get time. He even missed out on the bench on certain occasions. He really deserves to be in that team. At least give him a try. It's so frustrating. I don't know what you guys reckon, but to be honest, I would actually prefer if Greg Wild left because he deserves first team football. He's a footballer. And if you're coming to join a club to play football and you're not getting played, then do go. I really 100% hope that he'll go and pursue that playing football and not be wasted on our bench because he shouldn't be at our club if he's not going to play. And Harris, you really need to work on putting players in. I know that certain areas we've been doing better than others. I mean, we have been winning games, let's be honest, but still, he is still a footballer. He needs game time, and we haven't been giving that to him, and that's really frustrating. I do want to hear your guys' views on that one, though. I'm really, really frustrated, though, that we're wasting footballers. Fair enough, Hutchinson's injured, and Worrell gets games every now and then, but even Worrell was left out for quite a while. And you've got to tell me, though, why he isn't getting game time, because it's just really odd. He surely should be playing more than just cup games, as he was a consistent player at the lower tier. Now, the other game was a game that we played against Bury. It was away from home. We won it 3-2. And, well, we got a late winner from Aidan O'Brien to actually go on to win that one. And to be honest, after seeing them score 2 goals, I was really asking questions of Millwall and some of the players being in the team, as I do usually. Now, I do feel really concerned because there is a serious need for an experienced striker, and I'd take anyone because we are hurting going forward. Without Steve Morrison, without Lee Gregory, the 2 most experienced strikers we have, we just don't have anyone there. And if you're going to start inexperienced players all the time, then it's going to be hard to see us move up the table every week. And it's been proven in games already that we are struggling without them. And, well, we're going to just have to see how this one progresses because yet again, it was another red card that dictated Millwall's fortune, as our goals were scored by Sean Williams, which was scored from the penalty spot, obviously, thanks to that handball and the penalty, and then the two substitutes with Callum Butcher and Aidan O'Brien, not to mention that Mahlon Romeo actually got an assist for Aidan's goal. Overall, it's great to see us winning, and at least we have 3 points, but there are serious concerns with certain areas in the pitch, and Harris has addressed it by saying he will be signing a few players. Now, last week I did completely forget to add this in, but it is the player of the week, and I can only apologise for missing that one out. So this week's player of the week is going to be Mahlon Romeo. I thought that he was great going forward, and he defended really well against AFC Wimbledon, and well, that was without the assist that he got against Bury. So overall, it's been a really good week for Mahlon Romeo, and to be honest, he's not going to be challenged by Cummins for that right back position, and he's progressing really, really well. A player that I'm definitely liking seeing. He has a lot of potential, and at the moment, he's doing really well at first team football. So moving swiftly onto the final section of the podcast. Yes, this is the Millwall news, and our first news story of the day comes from winger David Worrell, as he said that the next 2 months are going to be crucial for Millwall to see where they are as a team, and more importantly, where they will be likely to finish come the end of the season. And he said with 7 games next month, we'll be looking at our best to prove that we have what it takes to be challenging for the playoffs. And well, I'm going to be honest, I am really, really looking forward to if we can actually go ahead and smash that. I know last season we had a difficult period when we lost to Gillingham and we had a tricky spell against Walsall. I'm hoping that we can do much better this season on that term front, but to be honest, it's not going to be easy, is it? There's been spells where we've really struggled against some of the simpler teams, so we're just going to have to see how it goes, especially with strikers out at the moment. The next story comes from Byron Webster, as he talked about Harry Smith and quashed some transfer speculation linking him to other clubs. He said, we have to become a brutal team to play against. We don't want to drop points often. We have to get a fear factor to get the right results. He also went on to add that he likes what he's seen so far of Harry Smith, and said he will succeed at the Den if he follows suit of some of the younger players that have already broken into the team. And Webster finally ended with talking about the speculation with transfer links, and he's with obviously Bolton and Sheffield United currently being linked with him. And he said, I take a confidence boost and would rather people talk about me than not. I must be doing something right if I'm linked with other teams. And the final story of today comes from Millwall manager Neil Harris, as it usually does. And he talked about Millwall's current transfer market tactics, saying that after suffering a goalless draw with AFC Wimbledon, that experience is needed in certain areas, and this is down to some injuries highlighting this. He said, we have a youthful squad, hence the policy that has benefited many of our younger players, but we do still lack some experience in certain areas of the pitch. So we'll be looking for players that have learnt their trade and will have a lot of experience to bring to us. So that is all we got time for today at least. Do feel free to put your questions and opinions in the comment section for the next Talk the Wall. However, before I go, don't forget to put your score predictions for the Braintree game, which is on the FA Cup on Sunday, in the comment section, as next week I'll be covering that game and highlighting the good and bad points. And while you're down there, let me know your opinions of Millwall and the match in general. So, like, comment, subscribe, and of course I will see you guys next week for the next Talk the Wall. But until then, goodbye.